Dan Nobles here again with this Thursday's Lick of the Week. And this week I really want to focus on putting your guitar solo ideas in a rhythmic context. And essentially this week's lesson is a fun game that I like to play when I'm practicing by myself, and I teach it to my students as well. Basically the game goes like this. You make up a riff that's got, let's say, 4 measures in it, but you save the last measure for the guitar fill. So what we're going to do is we're going to play 3 measures of music that's a groove, and then the last measure is going to be empty space.
Space.
You can fill that space with absolutely anything that you want. You could play 1 note, you could play 1,000 notes. You could practice your pentatonic ideas, diatonic scales, sweeping, alternate picking, or anything that you want, right? Sky's the limit. I've got my handy dandy metronome. Don't be afraid, the metronome is actually your best friend when it comes to developing all kinds of musical capabilities. The groove goes like this. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's our empty space. And that last measure, that's just 4 beats of nothing, is where we're going to put our fill. So let's practice doing just that. The first thing that I want to do is I want to put something pentatonic in there. And in this case I'm going to use E minor pentatonic, which consists of the notes E, G, A, B, and D. And the notes are these. So let's play the groove, and at the end of it I'm going to put some pentatonic fill, and we'll just see what comes out. Okay, here it goes. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, you could do that all day long, right? You could play your pentatonic scales. I want to move to the next idea, though, where I want to work on pull-offs. Supposing, for example, you wanted to work your technique and you wanted to work on your left hand, or your right hand if you're a left-handed guitar player. And for this, I'm going to use E Dorian, which is the scale E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. And a good pattern for that looks like this, starting on this E note. And then into the next octave. Right? And that's going to be our playground for the next idea. And let's just see what happens. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next idea that I want to work on is about your alternate picking. And again, we're going to stay in the same scale. We're going to use E Dorian. What I want is to get across the point where you can play a groove, you can put your picking chops at the end of it, and you're practicing putting it in a context, which is incredibly important. How many times have you worked on a lick and really nailed it down practicing, and then you get to the gig, or you get to the jam, or you get to the recording session, and you find that maybe you nailed the lick, but you didn't practice the dismount, so you have trouble getting back into the rhythm. Using this little game will solve that problem, because there's no reason why you should ever suffer having to nail down a lick and then have trouble putting it in a musical context. Okay, so here we're going to do some alternate picking stuff, and let's just see. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The I hope this helps you in terms of developing your musical ideas, and I will see you next Thursday. Until then, remember that you can play anything. Thanks for watching.